Hello, FJL World. This week we're discussing the case of Nick, who was driving to a wedding, and on the way to the wedding, he decided to put out a message to his friends: 4 spots in the car. Anybody want to ride? I'm going to charge $20 for the round trip there and back. That covers tolls and gas and the ride itself. And he filled up the car. They decided as a group that they were going to stay just until the end of the main course at the minimum. When they got to the wedding, it was taking a long time. It was going very slowly, and it was getting very late. The main course hadn't yet been served. And two of the passengers came over to Nick and said to him, "Listen, man, we're going back early. We got a test tomorrow. We got to go home. Sorry, we're going to bail out. We'll work out the issues with the payment tomorrow." So Nick looked around, see if there was anybody else who wanted to come. I got these 2 extra spots. He found someone to come with him, charged the guy $10, came back. Nick came over to the 2 guys who had left early the next day and said, "Hey guys, you gotta pay me $20. They said, "What do you mean $20? We only went with you half the way." He said, "But hey, you agreed to the terms and conditions that you were gonna pay for a whole trip from the get-go." And they said, we didn't come with you. You didn't give us the ride. And anyway, you found someone to come with you in the end of the story. So if that were to be true, then Nick would actually be able to gain some money off of it. So how do we look at this case? So there is a case in the Talmud that talks about a person who is having his items shipped on a boat, and then decided before he reached his destination, halfway along, he was ready to unload the things from the boat. So if he has to pay for the rest of the journey of the rental of the boat or the driver, etc., would depend on whether or not the boat driver is able to actually find an alternate client. Another case about where the discussion of an employer who retracts before a worker starts. So we have to look at the question of whether this person who is taking on the job would have had other employment that they had turned down. Because that may impact this as well. But when he already started doing the job, as in the case of Nick, who's already driving, then it doesn't make a difference whether he had turned away other potential passengers in the first place, because they agreed from the beginning that it was going to be a 2-way ride. So if the worker happens to be able to find alternate work, he gets the deduction calculation of what was missing. But the 2 guys who retracted are still going to owe for the round trip, but they would be able to deduct $10 from the passenger who had gone with Nick in the end. This way they split the $10 at the end of the story. Nick gets that $10, which is only deducted from that 1 spot that he wasn't able to fill.